This podcast is sponsored by Intentional Living Magazine, your ultimate guide created to help infuse purpose and passion into your everyday life. From expert features that provide valuable insights to thought-provoking content that sparks transformation, this magazine, an online platform, is a perfect source of inspiration for all of those of us who truly believe in the power of intentional choices.
Welcome to today's podcast. I've got our Jules here giving me loads because I just can't seem to get it right. This is about transition and change. And I am going through a lot of transition and change right now myself personally and in business. So anyone who is feeling a little bit lost, feeling like it's just not working, don't know where to turn, can't see the wood for the trees, have a listen to this and hope that this will help you be a little bit more clearer.
I like this one.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Enjoy. Hey, Claire.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so today...
Can we just talk about transition, isn't it?
It is about transitioning, but transitioning from parts of your life, business, personal, and
relationships,
all of it,
career,
mainly all of that.
Again, yeah. It's all the well-being pillars, isn't it, of life?
It is, and something that women of our age and our clients' general age, which is usually between the ages of 35 and 55-ish, there or thereabouts in that 20-year gap. A lot of change happens in that time, in mindset, in outlook on life, perception, wants, dreams, desires. And so we wanted to talk about that because there are two ends of the spectrum of that. And I've got my phone with me today because just to get some notes. And the two ends of the spectrum are fear of allowing all of that to happen. And that fear keeps you rooted, potentially, or glued into a spot. Stuck. Yeah. And that's one of the things that quite a lot of our clients say. I just feel stuck, or I'm scared, or I've done this, but I can't leave until I've got, I'm secure and all of that.
And what they're doing is not working. It's just not working, is it?
And the other side of that spectrum is faith. You know, like we've stepped into this faith field a while ago, and literally by stepping in to this faith and trusting, not blind faith, but trusting that all will be well. I've got itchy nose. Trusting that all will be well.
Is that fine?
Yeah. Usually when you've got an itchy nose, means you're going to have a row. That's what my grandma used to say.
You're going to have murder on
you. You starting. So the fear of staying stuck, and then faith about, having that faith to jump, and how many people that we speak to that are on that cusp that are going, I don't know whether I can do it. I don't know whether I can do it. And it's almost like, well, how are you going to find out?
Yeah, if you don't.
So moving from one to the other can really feel hard. And that can, if you're not aligned, feel like wading through treacle sometimes and quite lonely.
Yeah.
So there's some of the things that show up. And then if people then do decide to make
the move or the transition, the change,
then
whatever it is,
they can start to overthink, and then they put perfection is a form of procrastination.
Yeah.
So they might think, well, I'll do this and make sure everything's right first, and then by the time they do that, nothing's ever right. It's a bit like if you waited to afford to have kids, you'd never have them, would you?
Yeah.
And it's almost like waiting for that perfection is a form of procrastination. And so when people come to us, they're kind of often in that whole washing machine of, it's almost like
it doesn't work for them. It's not working. They want to move forward. They are moving around, but they're just staying in the washing machine.
And they're exhausted on that spin, aren't they?
And it literally is like the cloudiness of the head and shall I go this way? Shall I go this way? Shall I go this way? There's fear of rejection. There's fear of success. There's fear of judgment. And it keeps you stuck. And we all know that obviously fear is there to keep us safe.
Yep.
And to keep us in comfort.
Yep.
And if you can just step out of that, just one step at a time, and find something new, then you'll get towards the life that you want. But I would take it all the way back to, if you're listening to this and you are thinking about transitioning, as to whether we've been speaking quite a lot lately to typically females who are in positions as to become consultants or to set up their own business, to set up their own coaching business or training business or
holistic
therapies. And it's like, I've been in this well-paid role, working, giving all of my soul and you know, giving all my heart, mind, body and soul to it. And so they've loved it, particularly most of them, and they're now ready for that change, but they don't know what that is as well. So with some of them are like, I know there's something in me, but what is it?
Yeah.
And it's digging into that. So if you are thinking that there's something else outside of what you're doing now, and again, whether it's a career, whether it's a relationship, whether it's fitness, physical fitness, you know, where are you emotionally, mentally, all of that. It might be that you want to do some stuff in the community. I know someone I bumped into her, funnily enough, when I went to see Six in town, you know, the musical. Not seen her for years. Really a lovely, lovely woman and great leader at QVC, and she works somewhere else now, and she lost her mum a couple of years ago, I think to dementia, and everyone knew who her mum was because she'd always talk about her mum, and I actually met her mum and she was lovely. And she said since her mum passed on a couple of years ago, she said there's something in me that I need to do something different. I don't want to work for a big corporate company anymore. I've got something in me that I want to do and serve in another way. So she left. That day I bumped into her. That was a leaving do, and she was with all of her team. And I said, well, what are you doing now? She said, I'm working in a home local to where she lives, and she's going to serve, I think it was, I don't know whether it was children with disabilities, or it could be, or adults. I can't remember, but it was all about the care. She said, my whole outlook on life has changed, and now she's transitioned from that into this, so it's more meaningful for her, and
which happens quite a lot.
Passion is going in another direction. And she said it all was triggered by a mum passing away, but she knew something was in her before that, but a mum passing over has got her to see clarity on it.
Yeah. And that happens quite a lot, especially in this age group, 35 to 55. Menopause happens in that time as well. There's a change in our physiology that means that from a women's point of view, something really changes, and we don't put up with stuff that we might have put up with before. I think one of the other things is that we've worked so hard to build a career and to have a steady income, then to step out of that can be really fearful. Yeah. And then when people, or what we find is when clients step out of it and then they go, oh, hang on a minute, I need to earn money, but I know I want to change. How long do I give it before I then have to go and get a job? And actually they think that they can do it all on their own, and actually getting themselves a coach is probably the best thing that they can do to hold them through that whole spin cycle. Because obviously the emotional cycle of change that you've taught for about 1 million years goes through all of that, and actually leading people through that emotional cycle of change and helping them through it with the support, because they may have had all of the support of HR departments, of IT departments, of all of the different functions, and then you're stepping away from all of that.
Yeah.
And there's also quite a lot of women that are coming out of this whole transition of, actually, I'm done with the corporate lifestyle. I'm done with working all the hours God sends just to provide stuff, right? So what do they then need from a coach? Well, they need someone to believe in them. They need someone to be accountable to.
Tell them the truth.
They need someone to be honest, not blow
Jules will
smoke
always
up their
do.
arse. How many people do we know that come to us? And this is the frustrating thing for us, is that we see them go to lots of other people that promise them the earth, and then 2 years later they've done a cycle and they come back to us and go, "Yeah, you were right." They blow smoke up their arse and tell them they're amazing and that they're going to ship miracles, and actually,
there's some real work that needs to be done behind the scenes.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's really important as well. And so they get accountability. Some of them need direction. Some of them need some extra support, willpower. Some of them need some kickstart energy. And again, we look at the whole human design as part of that, to look where their strengths are, but also to look where they need some support with their energetic flow in the bits that they don't have. And once they understand that, then they can be really, really intentional about where they get the support. So when they go and find the support that they need, they're not necessarily getting stuff that they already know. They're getting the bits that they need the support on. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm trying to think what I was going to say then. Perimenopause brain.
Well, the perimenopause thing is massively important because we just don't give a monkeys. Like literally, there's a physiological change where we don't need to, as females in the physiology, we don't need to be attractive. We don't need to care
because
what people
we're not
think,
ready. We're not making babies.
We don't want to make any babies anymore. And that's a physiological thing, not a sexist thing.
But we just literally will not put up with stuff. Yeah.
And so there are things that we may have bitten our tongue with before that we don't anymore. And people go, "Oh my God, did you hear what she just said?" And that's okay. Yeah. And do you know what? It's so refreshing for women to speak out and say what's actually on the mind without having to sit within the confines of, and we find this a lot as well, don't we? Well, I don't like to say that because I don't want to upset the apple cart and I might get sacked and this, that, and the
that's
other.
what I used to say. There'd be things going on in my head going, "Oh, I really want to say this, but if I say that, I might get sacked or I might get extra work." And it's sad that and by the way, one of the most places that I work were fine. It was just me in my own head. And I got to the age of 37 and I was really busy and burnt out, and I did start speaking up more. And you could see some people in the room going, "Oh my God, I can't believe she's just said that." But then you will get more respect for that, and people will come to you because they would trust your opinion. So the speaking up was always with good intention. It wasn't to piss people off. It's like, if I say this or if I put my point of view on this, my intention is for that person to grow or for the business to grow, or it's a new idea. It's not because I wanted to just piss someone off.
But it's even like me just saying then around, people go around the houses and go and work with loads of different people that are promising them the earth. People go, "Oh my God, is she bitter?" No, I'm not bitter. It's honest.
Yeah.
And some people think that's not appropriate for me to say, but that is on it. That's our honest experience, that people say, "I've spent thousands on this," and they've actually, it's like the emperor's new clothes. They've signed up for something that doesn't bloody exist, and they're still in the same place. And then they need the support, and people go, "Well, I can't believe she just said that." Well, I have. I have just said it.
Because you will always be
Because
truthful,
when you spend time not speaking your truth, then that creates a block in your energetic flow, and that makes you frustrated, bitter, angry, whatever
sick.
And sick. And so we say it now, and that's why we are honest with people, and we don't work with everyone that comes to us as well, because sometimes we're just not aligned.
Because it doesn't feel right. We'll always recommend give them another path or say we don't think you're ready for the work that we do. Yeah. And then that, rather than just say, "Oh yeah, we'll work with you." Yeah. Because it doesn't feel right. So we'll be honest with that.
Right, let me ask you this then, just to give people that are listening who might think, "Oh, do you know what? I really want to work with these two." What sort of clients have we worked with before? We've worked with women coming out of the other side of menopause. Yeah. And throwing it all to throwing it all in the air, like literally everything, the whole life.
Yeah.
And like ready to walk out
Yeah.
and live on a tree in the Caribbean on their own. Yeah.
Again, it is. Yeah, it's women, it's females, and it's whether it's working with them, just helping them with the life, but it's typically females who are looking at transitioning from career into their own business.
Yep.
And like a small business, or just something that they're passionate about, that they want to serve in. But along the way, it's serving them with their relationships at home, because we'll look at the whole, all areas of life to say, well, where is your energy going, and where do you want it to go, and what are your passions, what are your purpose? So if we think of the women who are working with us now on our human design accreditation, we spoke about before, all different backgrounds. Some have got children, some have got teenage kids, some haven't got any children, but they're all women that have been here, not happy, it wasn't working, it's just not working, and they need to move over here because that's where they want to, that's where their passion lies.
But it might not be passion. It might not just be passion. It might be calm. It might be control. It might be ease. It might be peace of mind. Whatever it is that they're looking for, that transitional piece is different for everyone.
Yeah.
But it's getting out of where they are now to somewhere where they want to be. And that transition piece is the key. It's moving from A to B.
Yeah.
From being in the spin cycle to clarity and a path forward. It's being unsupported to supported. It's being lost to guided.
Yeah.
It's being unable to speak your truth to literally singing it from the rooftops. It's like, it's having all the ideas and not knowing what to do with them, or even if any of those are for you or not. And you've got all these ideas, and then you're seeing other people doing your ideas because you didn't do them, and the frustration that comes with that. So there's a whole mix of things there that we help with, and that people are looking for help with, that doesn't necessarily just come under one umbrella, one modality. It's
transition, it's change, isn't it? So it's from you're here and you want to be here. We can support you with that and make it clearer for you and make it easier. But you have to put the work in.
Yeah, there's no quick fix, is there? There's no quick fix. And I think
and you can't, I think we get a lot of questions like any books that you can recommend. Well, obviously we'll recommend ours. Any podcasts? Yeah, ours and a lot of other things as well. But there's not one thing. Like people think, I'll just read that book and my life will be fabulous. It's like, no, it's a continuous learning journey, and life will throw challenges at you, and also you'll have your good times, you'll have your bad times. Like,
you can read
that's
the book.
Life.
It doesn't mean reading it's going to... I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you want a six-pack and you buy a gym membership, you ain't going to get the six-pack by sitting on the sofa and not going.
Are you trying to tell me something?
No, God love you, because you look a dream. Because you've got
gym
a
for about
lovely
10
dress
weeks.
on. And we're talking about women.
Yeah, you're not going to be fit and slim or have a six-pack if you don't go to the gym. So it's the same as...
And it's exactly the same as that.
You get your book, buy your book. If you're not going to practice any of the stuff in it or make notes and stuff, it's never going to change.
And then the other thing that we should also know, Tiss, is that the value that people put on the support. You know, some people can come to us. I've had people in my inbox saying, oh my God, I am so desperate. I'm so desperate. I'm not sleeping. I'm doing this, that and the other. Can you help me? And I say, yeah, absolutely, I can. And they go, oh, I've got no money. And, okay. And then you go, oh, all right. So, but how... They expect something for nothing as well. And that's something that we have a lot, where people expect for you to work for nothing.
Yeah.
And they've invested in lots of other things before that haven't worked. And when you ask them what's important to them, and they say whatever they tell you, the health, the well-being, the relationship, all of the stuff, and then you say how much, what you budget in to support that, and there isn't anything, but then you're spending a lot of money on the stuff and the noise that doesn't support what it is, what their goal. And that in itself is a piece of work.
Yeah.
To look at, what does space and freedom look like for you? What does your new life look like? What's important in it? Okay, that's what's important. Let's look at it now. What have you got in your life now? Because one of the big things is people say to us, which is one of the reasons why we were called Space and Freedom, what do you want out of your life? Space and freedom. Okay, what does that look like? Invariably, it's not doing what they're doing now. Invariably, a lot of the time, it involves being able to do what they want when they want. It involves being able to go where they want when they want. And then you go, okay, so how much is your mortgage? We had one woman the other week and it was like £4,500. Okay, do you like being at home? No. And we had the conversation this morning, didn't we? Go, why are we living here? It literally rains the whole time. England is freezing, right?
Oh, that's another podcast
in
itself. The UK weather.
Yeah. So £4,500 on a mortgage. You don't like being at home and you want to travel, right? So do you need that house? Do you need to live there? Well, no, I suppose not. Well, why do you? Well, we just did. And then when the kids, blah, 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 circumstance. Your car, how much are you paying for your car? £800 a month. Okay. Where's your car most of the time? Well, it sits on my drive. It goes in the car park at work. Okay. Is that really, is that, so far we've got £5,500 a month and you're sleeping in a room and your car that's costing you £1,000 is sitting on a drive or in a car park most of the time. Is that facilitating your space and freedom? Well, no, not really. Okay.
It's the stuff all that type of stuff that's holding us back, isn't it? And I'm not saying it's not, if that's what you want and you are happy in your home and you love your car, but it's stuff. And it is nice to have nice things when you can afford them, but not for them to hold you back and stop you from living the life that you want. But it's establishing, because we're all different.
We are all different.
What someone else wants, someone's dream or goals is completely different to the next person, but the transformation is still the same. It's still, you're here.
Yeah.
Something is wanting you to move. Your soul is talking to you. I'm not happy. So what is the cost of staying stuck there? It's like, what is the cost of that? And then where is it you want to be? What, if money was no object, where is it you want to be? Here. Okay. Let's bridge the gap. How do we get there?
Yeah. And so let's spin that on its head for a minute. When you were 25, let's say 25, what did you want from your life?
I was in Ibiza.
Exactly. So right, let's go back. Let's do another couple of years on that.
That was 23. No, I was just living it up in Ibiza. I was working in Ibiza, and then I decided I need to go home and get a proper job, is what I said to myself.
Yeah. Okay. And then when you met Mark?
Because the conditioning was telling me you need to come home and you need to get your shit together for life, because you need to get a mortgage and you need to buy a house.
Right. And so you've spent the best part of 20 years achieving all of those things. And this is what a lot of people do. Spend the best part of 20 years achieving what society expects of us and what we think we want. And then this transition phase is, oh shit, I didn't want that after all. Because that's just made me ill, made me stressed. Like, I've blinked and missed my kids growing up. And now I've not got that much time to undo all of that.
So I'll just stay here.
So shall I just stay here and do it, or shall I do something about it? And it's that, and that's the key. And there is obviously a shitload of fear attached to that for a lot of people. And for me, as you know, we're completely downsizing. We're completely getting rid of everything. And at first I thought, oh my God, that's really scary. But you know what? It's exciting now.
Yeah.
Because
it's more freedom again.
It is literally the key to the door. It's like when I said to you this morning, why are we living here? Well, in a few months I'll be able to go, well, I don't have to today. And that to me is priceless.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people now, especially in this online nomadic world, you can be anywhere in the world if you choose to be. You choose to be. But again, it does take bravery, and it does take work, and it does take sometimes a plan.
Yep.
But first of all, a realisation.
An intentional plan, isn't it? So like you, and just knowing what you want. And there's that many people who are so disconnected from the heart, because we do live in our heads and we do fear about what everyone thinks of us if we make a certain decision. Well, if I do that, what are they going to say if I do? To get back into the heart, get back into the body. What does the heart want? And listen in, because it'll be speaking to you. And that's why, again, for me, human design got me out of my head and into my sacral, and to really go, no, I don't want to do that. No, it doesn't feel good. No, I'm not doing that now. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I like that. I'll do that. Really, even though you go, oh, but it doesn't sound logical to say yes to that. But even though the feeling in my body was excitement of saying yes to the different thing, and I've gone with that, and it's worked out.
Did you know at 27 what your life purpose was?
No. And
are you yawning?
Yeah.
How very rude.
I was out at the
weekend. Did you get that, Calvin?
I was out at the weekend.
She's bloody burning it up at both ends, this one.
But no, I don't know whether that was a subconscious thing though, because when I do subconscious work, I'm going to yawn again now.
I do apologise to you.
I do think at the age of 26, I fell into my role at QVC as in human resources and then training. And I knew then, when I could see people who were struggling to learn something or who were being performance managed, they'd come to me. And when I could turn that around and help by asking them questions and showing them in a different way, when they realise that they could do it or they have potential, the little face light up, and I go, oh, that makes me feel good seeing other people do well. So that's how I got into training and development more, and coaching and personal development. So that lit you up. I knew that was something that I loved to do. So that's hence why I went down the route of coaching and personal development. But my life's purpose in terms of human design.
Well, your life, so what I'm saying is the purpose piece, I feel that the purpose question comes in later. So it comes in
because most people don't know.
That's what I mean.
What do you mean?
What do you mean a purpose? I'm just.
For me, I like to say, it's got to be something meaningful. And what does your life mean to you? What's meaningful to you?
But that's part of your design, and my design is that it's important for us to have a life of meaning. And the fact that we're 5 energies means that we're solution based, and we're here to solve problems and to help people. Some people aren't that way.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe that's why this age group that we work with, or we attract clients between, say, 35 and 55, is because the question of purpose then comes in, or the question of, is this it? Is this what life is all about? And that transition then, that transition question starts to come in.
There's got to be something else. Yeah.
And you know what? If you're sat on the treadmill going through like Groundhog Day every day on this treadmill, and you're going on holiday every year.
Sitting on a treadmill, that'd be hard. I've just got a visual of sitting on a treadmill. Oh, I love it.
On a treadmill, on an exercise bike. If you're on that treadmill and you're asking the question, there's got to be more. Do you know what? There is.
Yeah.
There is.
Just allow yourself to feel into it.
And then the question is, fear or faith? And actually a coach will help you navigate that transition from fear to faith and everything in between.
Yeah.
What do you think of that then, Claire Morton?
Yeah, I liked it, enjoyed it. Talking about what we do and what we help and what we love doing. We just want people who are listening, whether you are a female or a male, whatever, if you feel stuck and something is not working, you can move because you're not a tree. Remember that one.
That's got. I think we're going to have that on merch.
Yeah, we need to get some merch on that.
Yeah.
And get a hoodie done with a tree on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's just like giving people that choice and giving people hope, and know that you can change. Or if you feel that you want to transition and you don't know where to go, it's possible, and we can help you with that.
Yeah. Exactly.
We can. But that's what we do.
Yeah.
And we're very good at it. And if you can check out our testimonials on our website or any of our clients, because they'll vouch for it.
Yeah. Can't say fairer than that, can we?
No.
Can't say fairer than that. What are we transitioning into today? I think we could do with some transitioning into somewhere hot.
I was going to say that. Should we go to Spain? Can you get a podcast studios in Spain, please, Calvin?
I'll add it to the list.
Thanks, mate.
At the same time as bringing some kombucha.
It's June
It's
2024 in the UK. I've got a bright dress on to try and just brighten myself up. But
You're doing so good.
It literally is like October weather.
It is horrible. It is horrible. But you're like Judith Chalmers. You spend most of your time out of the country. Look at you in your Scouse slippers.
Little flip-flops.
God bless you.
Yeah, but maybe that's something that we're going to transition into, that we don't need to live here. We don't. I mean, I've got my family.
Yeah.
Kids' schools. But it's I'm keeping my options open.
Yeah. And having faith.
Mm-hmm. Because if it's not working, or if it suddenly doesn't work, we can change it.
Because we're not a tree.
We're not trees. So thank you for that. That was a great conversation, as always.
I'd love to hear from anyone that is thinking about
moving on.
Or
But you don't
moving
know
something.
where, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting conversation. As I say, links to our website and our Calendly booking form, or whatever it's called, is in the show notes.
We're so technical. We didn't transition into IT.
You did. You've been amazing at working with Jemima on the systems.
I've not transitioned into IT. I just had a little bit of a flit in and out again.
Being the manifesting generator you are.
Exactly.
So thank you for that.
Thank you for going on holiday and leaving me with it.
I had to. It's freaking freezing here. Yeah. You need to go somewhere.
I know. Take me with you next time.
Yeah, we'll go together next time.
So,
love and light from me.
And giraffe from me.